antagonistic clients. What do we mean by this? Let's get a definition. What would an antagonistic client be? What would they sound like? Who would they be? Why do you think they're acting this way? Quote unquote, acting this way. Maya?
Well, I asked it because I had the worst one I've had yet last week. And at some point she actually said, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing here, in a mean way. Like, I would like my money back, you know. And she was very hyper, ultra rational, to the point where the questions seem argumentative to her when they're meant to help her. So that was the context for me.
Perfect. So did you do a strategy call first? What was she like on the call?
I did a great strategy call. She was a spiritual person. She was on the self-help path. She had done therapy with various people. She had heard a message about talking to me. You know, she had seen my posts on Facebook. She knew who I was. I did not feel in any way any alarm bells.
Perfect. So that cancels that out. And the reason I say this, a lot of these problems can be filtered out during the strategy call. That's why that thing is so fucking important. Okay. So when you went through the what's the problem and all that, is that when it started, or did it start a couple of questions through? Give me a bit more context.
It seemed to me like the process annoyed her, meaning that she wanted something more familiar, like close your eyes. And I had already told her that's not what we're going to do. But as it went on, I felt like it was feeding into the part of her that she was there to, you know, face.
Yep.
She just didn't want to do it. So no matter, I did change tacks various times. I tried various modalities. It just felt to me like she felt antagonized.
Yes.
With the process.
Why do you think this would be? And it's really two main reasons. Okay. I always find it ironic. I guess it is a bit more ironic as well. When clients come to you and say, I've been to all these other therapists, nothing's worked. And you go to try something new and they say, no, I want something familiar. So you've got to be very aware of that. And sometimes you can only catch these things through the session, and you've got to sort of call your client's bluff. Why would a client in general get more closed off the more you start to pick at their problem?
Because they know they're going to change, and they really, I felt like she knew I was looking right at her, and she was like, oh shit, this lady's going to get me out of this.
And it was probably the first time she's actually felt something in regards to the problem, rather than just a relaxation, meditation type thing, which it's like, I always think of it like this. A client can go through those things knowing it's not going to work, but at least say to themselves, at least I'm trying something. And then they can always blame something else. Sounds like human beings in general, right? Okay. So what I found as well, when you get them with a couple of questions and becomes like irritates them and gets painful inside, just that one or two steps towards the problem or getting close to the problem is enough for people to go, whoa, hang on. I didn't know we were going to get to this place so quickly. I don't know if I'm ready to let go of this. You know, this is my whole identity, Maya, or holy shit, Maya's asked me one question I've been pondering on for the last 20 years. How did she know to ask that? So it's almost like, it's like the fight or flight. It's like a reflex of the client. Does that make sense? So you've got to appreciate what you did, which was the perfect job. It's meant to irritate people. Now, how you get around it, there's a couple of things we can do. And I know this from experience because the lawyers did this to me as well. If a client starts to get rude, pissed off, irritated, and starts to blame you, look at them and go, see you later. Call their bluff. Erickson was big on that. If people pissed off Erickson, what did he do? He would go out of his way to piss them off. Because remember when I talked about go to where your client is? Okay, now what would another therapist, when I say other outside of ACH, what would they do? They'd calm the situation. Let's have a cup of tea. Let's have a high five. Let's have a cuddle under a blanket and make them feel relaxed. No, you've got to almost call your client's bluff. So you can almost demarcate the session. And I say that with all respect as well. You can demarcate the session and say, look, what's going on? This is what we're going to be doing today. What's the problem? Blah, blah, blah. No. What's really going on? Because unless you tell me the truth, we can't go any further. Rather than the whole therapeutic spiel, stop them and talk to them like a human being. We'll talk about this in the MAC training tomorrow. Stop the session, look at them, and find out where they are. Because that irritation is an unconscious moment. So it can be used later on. And it's awkward, guys. It's fucking awkward, but it has to be done. Because otherwise, it would be like me taking my car to a mechanic and saying, hang on, I watched a YouTube video. I want you to fix my car this way. He says, no, I'm the expert. I know what to do. No, I want you to do it my way. And then when it doesn't get fixed, I still blame him. It's the person. Does that sort of make sense? Okay. But you always know, that's why ACH is so powerful, because it gets to the pain point straight away. What's the problem? How is that a problem? Explain it to me. What has every other therapist done? Okay, Fritz, sit there, close your eyes, relax, create a white bubble of light around you, find your happy place, tap your forehead, jokes aside, of course, but that's what they're expecting. But if that hasn't worked, why the fuck would you go down the same path if that hasn't worked in the past? Something has to be done. And sometimes, and we talk about this with ACH, remember how I talked about an easy way to get past analytical clients is to catch them unaware, to do the thing they're not expecting. That's what happens here. And it catches people. And unfortunately, it's enough for people to go, whoa, where the hell did that come from? Why are you asking me that question? But that's the question you need to ask. Can you see ACH sort of spinning around that? But that's what it's supposed to do. Does that make sense, Maya? Does that